Greetings and join us on this broadcast. Okay, this is going to be the connection is working a little bit better. All right, this is Archon grid reincarnation process, remote viewing, and Brazil channeling. So, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And Archon grid, that'll probably take most of the time. So I just jump right into it. We try to. Let's see. Quick update. We're at this time. 7talk.com, our private sessions. Right here. The shop here, I'm on the 30th of May. Same situation here. We have a webinar. Social network, Rabbit, behind the scenes, and a dating site. So, all right. Just jump right in. If there's anything else, I can't think of it. The cats are here, but it's too hot to do anything. So they're just laying around because during the day they can't be around because it's too hot up here. So, all right. Blessings. Strangeness on its way. Greetings. We are the Archons. You can think of your reincarnation process like a cybernetic connection, where yes, your world is connected to spirit realms, but also planets, which are also spirit realms themselves. You can reincarnate here from a fourth dimensional world, basically. Mm-hmm. As long as it's a non-physical reality, you can incarnate here. Well, without trouble is another story. Now, why some have birth defects, or, well, sometimes your energy is not connecting to this earth correctly. It depends on where you come from, especially if you're the exact opposite of this reality. That's why so many have health problems. It just that they can't handle the negativity here. So their body breaks down easily. Yeah, we're just going we keep it general in that regard. So there's always going to be different ways of looking at how the incarnation process works. Whereas most of your humanity is not even acknowledging it because they're part of the program that comes in. So even reincarnating, now not all worlds have this, but it depends on where you come in. That's where the human gets, or the soul gets programmed. Like a codex is added to your soul signature as you enter into the earth. So you start forgetting things even in the womb. This is not for everywhere, but there are a lot of planets, especially reptilian. If you reincarnate from a reptilian planet to this planet, most likely just go into the whole mindset here. So obviously we can't go into full details of how this works, but it's basically, yes, you have a lot of alien beings that do have connections to reincarnation process. You actually reincarnate from their ships into this earth because they know the process to go about it. Now, finding an entryway is a whole other story. So they do watch couples, they connect with them in astral, those that are planning to have children or not planning to have children but going to have a child anyway, or an accident or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes a planned birth that's not a birth that's not planned was actually planned, but astrally. For various different reasons. Like, and you have your star child, and sometimes having a single parent is for the best for a star child, especially when you're not getting any attention from anybody. And you're just living a normal life of just trying to make ends meet, and your child is pretty protected overall. And your star child can remember a lot of things. When you have a lot of attention from everyone, that's where the memories start to be removed, because you get connected to the energies of family members. And you as a child know these family members aren't ready for what I can connect to. So you adapt to the vibration that you're in. So you already have a a mind wipe before you enter. But as you're here, there's more of it comes through, especially. And this is why some of you might have difficulties with your family members because it's like that parent made me forget everything. It does happen. So you wonder why sometimes you just dislike a parent for a certain reason. It might not be a past life connection. It just you just have. I mean, you might have difficulties with them, but it made you forget your astral self. So as you go in more of an awareness of your planet, your moon your moon plays a big role, of course, in what's happening. Well, your moon plays a big role in your programming here, of course. Your mountains, your mountain ranges. Actually, a lot of the mountains play a big role in soul connection. Basically, alien beings connecting to your Earth and sending reincarnation energy into your Earth. The mountain doesn't mean you have to be up by a mountain, but it is a connecting point. So you have a ship that connects to your Earth. You find a connector point. A mountain is one place they connect to. They can connect to anything practically, but mountains are usually the better connections overall. They're just stronger. But you can connect to forests. You can connect to just the Earth. But there's different ways of going about it. But mountain ranges is just like you connect to a mountain for reincarnation. Doesn't mean you have to be by a mountain, but it's like when the soul incarnates, it goes through that mountain vibration, and they remember the elemental self. Of course, you can do it with the trees also, but the mountains are still stronger. So we just leave you for that information. So it doesn't mean that reincarnation is going to become more known, because many humans are extremely programmed here. Well, some of them, yes, part of trapped planets that are a lot of these souls that come to this world are from worlds that most beings don't even know exist. Well, in the spirit realm, we can see them, but a lot of aliens can't find these planets where these humans came from. And there are controlled worlds. And some of these humans have been clones on other planets. But either way, they do have a soul that incarnates here to keep your control grid going. So, putting that out there, as you go into more of an awakening state, you might find out a lot of your humans here are more drones programmed to program your society. So, you have a large population here, but a good portion of your population isn't really a real population. It is, but isn't. It's designed to keep this going. Go by how, well, like you ever connect to anybody that feels like they're alive, but they don't really have a soul. They have a soul, but it doesn't feel like they almost feel like they're soulless. That's an indication of that. They're under some massive control. And some are against their will, some aren't, some are terrified, some can awaken, most won't. It gets kind of complicated when you go into that. As you go in more into your awakening, this will be some time where you kind of not necessarily category your society, but in some ways, yes, you can. As you go more of a higher frequency, you can see what the level of human are. Like you have your starseed humans, you have your AI humans, and you have your matrix program humans. And there's different layers of where these people came from. I mean, you don't call it an awakening for nothing. As you awaken, you'll see more of where they come from. Obviously, it's not too clear right now, but think of it. We gave you some clues of where they come from. Once again, worlds that most aliens don't know where they came from, which is kind of intense when you think about it. I mean, aliens have an idea, but they don't really can find it. Like they know of the world, like some of the world, the controlled planets, the prison planets. They don't have the full details of where. They can channel the vibrations of it. They can get an idea of what kind of society it is, but they can't pinpoint of its location. Well, it makes it difficult because they can't heal it. Of course, your world is seen, but not all beings can see your world either. In your point of view, everyone can see, but not necessarily. Let's put it this way: those beings that can truly help your planet, they've been kept away from this world too. So, yeah, there's a lot of There's a lot of manipulation here. Meaning that there's beings that can truly transition your world, but they're kept away. You find that really odd, but that's why they call it galactic wars. You can say some of these beings, why bother? We just have ourselves wiped out. I mean, some of them have an idea of where this planet is, and some of them have been here, but they don't always know how to find it. So it's because they're under attack to keep them away. So it gets kind of sophisticated when you're on this world. So is basically you're unraveling your reality if you wish to. And you still have a hard definition of how to do that. With the reincarnation process, it's not always going to make itself completely clear, but the engineering of it, well, it's almost like a circuit board or a circuitry, like a server room, a computer. Yeah, it's similar to that, but it's more of a spiritual, it's more energy. But it's everywhere. It's an energy grid around your planet. All different layers, all different places. It's very complicated. It's like a web of reincarnation processes because all humans are connected to it to a certain degree. It's like an energy web, and you're all connected to it. So, because it's like the male and female connect to your future children or galactic people, or spiritual beings, or you have a conversation with your galactic people, and you meet somebody, and you might make a connection there where you can have a child, and then that person agrees to that your galactic people because you all had conversations with them. There's different ways of looking at it. You combine your energies with it. It's both of your energies. It gets complicated there. Well, many of you are actually connected to. Well, those that want to have children here are connected to the same galactic people. They just haven't found themselves physically. So you find your physical partner here, but you are connected astrally with your children, your future child. Let's put it that way. So you're connected to the same children usually, the same souls that decide to incarnate. And usually for incarnation souls, usually there's 7 or 8, sometimes more. That all depends. There's 7 or 8 possible beings that want to incarnate through that couple or that relationship. So gives you a little bit of details. I'm not going to go. Yes, we can't go into full details. Obviously, it's kind of sacred information, but that's a start. But one of the main things here is just the energy grid, as you're all connected to a spiritual web, kind of like an internet, a astral internet, you can say. The astral web, you can call it. It's whatever you want to call it. That allows more of childbearing energies to occur. And think about the beings that are assisting with childbearing energy, like your Anunnaki. So, yes, you had to be at a higher vibration to even allow that to occur. So, we'll just leave you with that. For the early humans, it was, well, you can say reincarnation, at least on this planet, was another part of its fall. The reproductive side of it. It could have been much easier, but it was manipulated to make things even more difficult, to make it more, to shut off your connection. So reincarnation, the beginning of the human product, was very filled with light. But over time, that light became dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, as it is today. So I'm here to awaken it even more. So they don't have all of these destructive wars here, karmic ties here anymore, even time itself. Yeah, you're here to remove time eventually. We don't see your calendars removing anytime soon, but once a debate of, and this is going to be some time in your future, when you actually have a conversation to get rid of the calendar, your January, February, March, that's when you know you're going to the higher dimensions. You don't need it anymore. I mean, first you have to get off of food. Well, those that want to get off of food. And then your calendar is next. Of course, you can take that any direction you want. So, because basically souls, well, higher dimensional beings, You don't really need energy food, but it'll be mostly energy. So, greetings to you. We are the Arcturians. Blessings. There are other energies here. There are many, actually. For remote viewing, yes, become easier in your future time. Have become more part of society. Of course, your government is controlling it on many different levels, as they have lost themselves. Um, as you connect more to the government vibrations of actually removing those timelines from your Earth, we don't need them anymore. And they know they're on an expiration date. They might smile and take pictures and give us funny looks, but they also realize their expiration date is around the corner. Now, when that corner is, well, realize many of you going to the higher frequencies are bringing in for all this to be exposed. I mean, yes, you go into ascension energies where they can be working out. And some of you remote viewing without even knowing it. You astrally remote view. This is why you have the knowledge that you have. This is why you get the downloads that you have. So you're astrally remote viewing on a level that obviously your spiritual controllers do not want you to know about. So you become more aware of it. Basically, not be afraid of it. As it's not for everybody. For those that are, it is for you. It become more intense and more real. Obviously, the sentient beings that are controlling society use AI also to control society, put fear in the world as you go deeper into Earth's consciousness. Where you're basically, yes, expiring timelines, so you don't have to go through those problems anymore. And government causes a lot of problems. Well, it's been hijacked by many different beings, even the Archon beings that we most likely be seeing. But you're going to see also the alien beings that have caused so much dreadfulness here. Find their insecurities, find their darkness, but also see how wounded that many of them are. Of some of them just didn't get it. You'd be surprised how many alien beings that cause trouble here have not got enough love in their lives. It's that simple, but complicated. Yes, psychotic at a level that can't be understood. Of course, they cause problems here. They take their problems and put it on your world and magnify it, especially in the relationship energy. So the beings that control your planet are not all of them are like this, but some of them just like to go after any relationship they want and use it, abuse it, and then throw it out when they're done, basically. So they kind of split. They made it difficult for other people to find a love mate here on many different levels of, well, it's like, why bother getting into a relationship? There's more to it than that, but that's part of it. Basically, these beings that are causing trouble here have just abused every type of human rights known to man. Everything. Exploited it, turned it negative in any form. That also is a reflection on themselves. That are not as strong as they thought they were, especially those of you that it's like seeing a wounded animal. But these are alien beings. Extremely wounded, extremely arrogant. Which some of you will probably, because as you, once again, you're allowing more of the true reality to appear here. You might feel some of these alien beings like, yeah, I got problems, but screw you. Who do you think you are? At least have some kind of alien contact. Because like many of your spiritual communities are built not to connect to these beings. They're designed to stay away for obvious reasons. to continue this program that's going on. But how do you heal a world where you don't know those problems are? I mean, you're here to heal yourself, but what about the planet itself? What about the beings that are causing trouble here? Are you ready to see their problems? And there's a lot. Especially when you connect to, for example, reptilian beings that was involved with other planets being taken over. And you actually feel that this disgustingness with them. They actually discuss it with themselves. There might be some pride there, but there's also some ugly there. A depth that is not, yes, for your mainstream audiences. But your mainstream audiences, yes, has been trained like a monkey to just accept the reality that they're in. But some of you that truly want to go deep, you will go deep. Well, it's like going into a cave, like cave diving. It's not that you're looking for negative beings, but you're looking the source of the problem of this reality. It's kind of like a doctor looking for the pain. But you're looking for the pain that the planet is going through. You might see a dragon being. You might see anything, a feline being, whatever it might be. Most likely you'll see reptilians at first because they're hiding who else is here. And there's a gang of them, of course. And yes, they're once again extremely arrogant. Feel like they can do nothing wrong. But they are curious to those that wishing to connect to their energy that aren't afraid of them. Obviously, those that have a lot of darkness within themselves aren't ready for something like this. But those of you that have a balance within yourself, there's nothing to be afraid of. Well, this thing is that some people connect to the darkness on this planet and they become it. They become worse. I mean, you already have darkness, and now you're just a nymphomaniac or whatever it is. And they know that. So it's kind of a chilling energy. It's kind of like going to Antarctica in your own home. So his beings are here. There's like a combination to connect with. It's not the easiest to see them. It's patience. It's are you willing to see what's really here? Will it terrify you? If you're over that part, you have made it quite a long ways. Obviously, once again, your mainstream audience, this is all fiction to them and will continue to be so. Those are the cheap seats of reality. Or sometimes it's the more expensive seats of staying away from what's truly here. But once again, there's nothing to be afraid of. But some of you, yes, are explorers, spiritual explorers, and want to get at the heart of the matter, how things really work here. And if you are patient enough and willing to dig deep, like an archaeologist, you will find something. And the question is, how far do you want to go? Someone might just stop, like, okay, I've hit my limit. But there's nothing wrong with that. But at least you're showing yourself you can go to a certain level. When you actually, yes, feel eventually reptilian beings that are here and other beings, but it's always going to run to that reptilian wall. They're normally going to be the first ones to see, but they're not the only ones doing this. That's far from. When you get past the reptilian wall, there's other beings that are. It's like going into the Alice in Wonderland realm. There's also the movie Riddick. It's kind of like a B movie, but it's similar to that too. So, I believe Van Diesel's in it. That's all we can pick up on. A cheesy film, but there are some elements of what's happening here. Greetings to you. We got, yes, the energies of Brazil. Yes, we are multi-dimensional energies. Yes, we are from other planets. We are. Some of us are from Mars. Some of us are also from Venus. There are various other planets, but we'll just go into that. Yes, there's a culture war in Brazil. We're actually Yes, a third world country to a certain degree, done by design, because there's yes a lot of black project energies, government manipulations, drugs, of course, to be made for your elite. So it's like your Brazil is kind of like your elitist human trafficking hub, one of them at least. Many secrets are a very complicated place to go into. Even some of your governments are a little bit kind of like, I'm not sure if we're going to go into that place. Venezuela is the same way to a certain degree. But that is Brazil is one of your Illuminati yes melting pots where yes the gold is made, manipulations are discovered, society has been engineered to be self-destructive, impoverished by design, like many other places such as Africa and so forth. So healing these energies obviously is not the easiest. But understanding it, yes, the Archon energies is quite well. It's like how low can they go? They're actually digging deep into the Earth's crust, actually, at least vibrationally. To realize you have a place like Brazil and Africa, of course, other places. But Brazil is called it shatters the Earth's energy. It's like a wound in the Earth's vibration. It's like a just a wound that won't heal. I mean, some parts of it heal, but much of it's still just a lot of pain. If you want to remote view that energy, it's entirely up to you. There is a lot of Christ energy there, but it's also part of the manipulation of it was yes, Spaniards were a big part of it, but it's much more to it than that. Well, basically, it's harvesting materials, and yes, once again, human trafficking on just a disgusting scale. Well, a lot of our human trafficking is being sold, or yeah, business is being done on many levels, and it's standard business practices there. Not to hurt its tourism, but it's there. Well, it's not exactly the safest place. I don't believe many of you have been there, but it's a vortex that needs to be healed. It has less old Atlantean energies there, old corrupt Atlantean energies, kind of like gangsters. So some of your Illuminati, some are, yes, high up on the echelon. They don't get their hands dirty, but some are just dirty scumbags, where they are dirty and disgusting. And they are part of the elite because they have all these connections they'll ever need. They have all the funding they'll ever need. And do atrocities that they have mentally agreed upon that have no problem with. And they're kind of like gangsters, but they're not pretty looking either. So to heal a place like this, yes, on an astral level would be the right way to go about it. Going there physically and healing it, a tough heal. You have to take an army there. Vibrationally, we recommend it because it can going there physically can be a swamp. It can take you in and devour you easily unless you know what you're doing. Of course, around the coast areas, around the ocean areas, is a little bit safer. But as you go in, it gets a little bit deep. It goes into another swampland, you can say. And there are Amazonians that are there, part of your elite controlling society. Hidden civilizations, of course, hidden in your dimension, but some are very vicious. Well, yeah, some are insectoid actually. There's a lot of insectoid energies in there, in the Amazon. Alien beings, and yes, giant ones. Not too giant, but large. Well, just let yeah, not may really just say something like that, but yes, just so as you go into a healing vibration on this planet, you'll see your Brazil become more of a tourist-friendly attraction over time. So that is where a lot of your secret space program energies are done too. Uh, yes, a very not an easy area to go into, but once again makes sense. Obviously, a secret space done on a different dimension there, but it is there. And it is there actually in the physical, but it's not made public anywhere. It's done secretly on many different levels. And it's part of the human traffic energy. Even some vibrations too. Obviously, a lot of things are not going to be easiest to prove physically as of yet, but on a vibrational level, just doing vibrational healing, Brazil has a lot of problems. Costa Rica also, that one has, there's a lot of vortexes there that can't be healed. Where Brazil can use all the help it can get. And there's also cloning energies being done there too. And politicians have been corrupted for forever. Of course, once again, and they are not your part of your elite. Well, they're elitist puppets. They're not really part. And there are certain bloodlines for your politicians in Brazil to continue the strength, the control grid there. I mean, there's different families there, but they find a way to get their people in some form or another. And of course, it's a lot easier there than in the United States.